Hi everyone, welcome to Great Glen Yoga. My name's Rachel and today I'm going to take you through a really soothing and nourishing yin yoga practice for dealing with anxiety and stress. So this is just going to be really nourishing, great opportunity to just put everything to one side and focus in on yourself for a little while. So great if you've had a hard day and you just want to forget about everything, or maybe if you're preparing for something that's a little bit nerve-wracking and you want to keep yourself calm and relaxed ahead of that, maybe give this practice a try before you get into that situation. It should just bring all the the energies of the body into a much more manageable space as you approach whatever it is that you're concerned about. So you could use some blocks if you want to, or a bolster. There's an opportunity to use some of your props later on in the practice, but where we're going to start, you won't need any. Lots and lots of forward folds and reclined poses in this practice. So when I think of relaxation and I think about relaxation in yin yoga, I think a lot about forward folds, really nourishing, really calming, and then a lot of reclined poses where we're really not relying on any muscular effort at all, so we can just sink into the floor. So you might have noticed at the start of the video, Skye, my dog, was hanging around, so she will be back and forth, I'm sure, as we get into the practice. But yeah, get yourself all sorted and we'll make a start. So we're going to begin with a caterpillar pose. So I'm going to spin round to the side so that you can see how this pose is going to work. So if you can bring your legs out in front of you, so nice and relaxed, you know, no kind of engagement in the legs. We're not needing ultra straight legs, ultra engaged feet, just legs out in front of you. And then we're going to just take our time and melt forward over the thighs. So one of the most nourishing yin yoga poses we can do. You come into your own little space as you come forward, real opportunity to just forget about everything else. Now, depending on when you're doing this in the day, you might find that you're coming forward quite far. You might find that you're quite upright. Just go wherever you need to be. So this is quite early for me, so I know I won't be quite as flexible as I might be later in the day. So just easing forward, holding on to the feet, the ankles, the calves, wherever feels comfortable to just lay the hands. You might want to put the hands down on the floor just to discourage any sort of pulling or grabbing. I quite like having the palms just pointing to the ceiling but resting on the calves. Bowing the head. No problem in terms of rounding the shoulders and the back here in this yin yoga pose. And just sink into it. It's quite nice having Skye hanging around for this practice wherever she is at the moment, because I think one of the other things that always relaxes me is having animals around. So having Skye around is always a great thing for my mental and emotional health. And you should feel a really lovely stretch all the way through the body for this one, which is another reason why it's such a great pose. You're working into all of the fascia all the way down the back of the body. And you'll find as we spend more time in this pose that naturally gravity will do its work. You'll start to fold a little bit deeper into the pose. I always find a caterpillar pose so relaxing that it's hard to come out. But we'll just ease up from this one now, so you can use your hands just to guide the body, the torso, the head back to an upright position. And we'll just rest here. You can just take the soles of the feet to the floor, just pop your hands behind you and just relax into the arms here for a second, just to feel the effects of that pose before we move on. And if it helps, you can just do a couple of little windshield wiper motions with the legs as well. We're going to come into another forward fold here. So we're going to come into a folded deer pose. So we're going to begin with the right leg. So that's going to be parallel to the short edge of your mat. And then we're going to take the left leg slightly behind us and have the shin parallel with the long edge of the mat. So get your legs kind of where you want them to be to begin with. Generally speaking, kind of at right angles to the edges of the mat that we're focusing on. But, you know, there or thereabouts, you don't have to be perfect. And then we're going to fold over this front leg, so just easing forward, and you can come forward onto the palms. You can stack the fists and just rest the head down on there. If you want to use a block under your forehead, that might be nice as well. And just relax over that front leg. And you'll just feel a really nice stretch just in the outer right hip, maybe a little bit in the right quad, the right glute as well. But this should be quite a gentle pose. We're not looking for huge sensation here. Okay. And really in these poses, we're trying to clear our minds as much as we can to really be able to feel the effects of the pose, feel the effects of the stillness. So where you can, focusing on the breathing, focusing on the sensation in your body, just not letting those other thoughts come into the mind. We'll ease back up to a seated position. Hello. Hello, darling. Just nice and gentle. You can undo the legs, and before we go over to the second side, we're going to come into a butterfly fold. And I think Skye is going to support me with this one. Hello. You're being good, kind of. So for butterfly fold, we're going to take the soles of the feet together, and you can decide kind of how far away from the body, how close to the body that you want your feet to be. So if you have them quite close in to the body, you'll find you get much more of a stretch through the inner thigh. If you take them a little further out, you'll start to transfer that sensation to the outer part of the thigh and the outer part of the hip. So it's really up to you what feels good for you this morning, what feels good for your body at this moment in time, what feels most relaxing and soothing as well. Skye, do that. Good girl. Hey, good girl. And sit nicely while we do butterfly fold. Maybe. Okay, so find the position for your feet, and then when you're ready, you can just start to fold forward. And again, because it's yin, we're not kind of pulling ourselves. We don't need to keep that straight back. We can just round over the feet and just really relax towards the floor. So just starting to come forward where it feels comfortable for you. Again, popping the forearms on the floor if that's where you get to, and just popping the palms facing up. Just starting to lower the head to where feels comfortable for you. And if you're slightly more upright, if you're closer to this kind of position or here, you know, find the place that feels best for your body. If you feel that the knees are quite far up, which isn't giving you as much forward space, absolutely fine as well. Just come forward where you need to. And if it feels good, you can pop blocks or pillows under the knees if you're finding that those knees are quite a way off the ground. So find the space that works for you and just start to fold forward. Good girl. Good girl. using the palms of the hands just to guide the body back upright. And we'll move across and do that folded deer pose on the second side. So I think Skye has stolen that block, so we'll use the other one if I want that for my head. So this time what we're doing is we're taking the left leg parallel to the short edge of the mat, right leg parallel to the long edge. So just getting your deer shape there, and then you can start to fold forward the front leg. So I think I will take my block forward. Hello. And just sink over that front leg. Just starting to feel the sensation there in that front left leg, around the glute, the hip, the thigh. Really nice stretch, really gentle, soothing stretch. And always nice when you've got your dog just here as well. Let's ease our way back up. And we're going to come down into a reclined position now. So just easing down onto our backs. Luckily, I was planning to keep my feet on the floor, so I don't need the space that Skye is currently occupying. So just settle yourself into a nice position on your back, snuggling those shoulder blades into the floor. Just taking a second here to situate yourself on the mat in a comfortable position. So we're going to come into supported bridge now. So this is where, if you do have a block or a cushion handy, this will be absolutely perfect for this pose. So you can just take a block or a cushion, pillow, whatever you have, press into the soles of the feet, lift the hips up, and just pop that block just underneath the kind of sacrum area of the back, that flat area of the back that goes into the top of the hips. And just settle yourself onto the block. You can, if you like, you can extend your legs in this pose. That just gives a little bit greater sensation. Also gives a little bit more for the hip flexor area, working into the fascia there. But I will respect the fact that Skye is sharing my mat with me today, and I will keep my feet to the floor. Another thing you can do in this pose is take the arms up overhead. So I think I'm going to do that, and that'll just open up the shoulders, the chest a little more, just give a little greater sensation for the upper body. And this is just such a nice gentle inversion. We're not putting in too much of a back bend here, but just really nourishing, really soothing pose, taking our hips higher than the heart. Very, very good for stress relief and anxiety relief. We're going to keep the block or the pillow under the sacrum here, and we're just going to bring the knees into the chest and just hold on to them here. It might feel nice just to rock a little from side to side. And we're here in almost a reclined child's pose, kind of a pose here. And this gentle compression that we're experiencing in this pose is another movement and pose that can really reduce stress, reduce anxiety, really calm the body. Any kinds of gentle compressions, twists, those sorts of things are really, really great for managing anxiety responses in the body. You can release the arms, take the soles of the feet back down to the floor. I'm just going to press into the soles, take the block out from under us. We won't need any more props for the rest of this session. And again, just take a second just to resituate yourself on the mat. Feel the effects of those inversion and compression poses. And we're going to come into a twist now. So we're going to take the left leg and just wrap it over the top of the right. And then we're going to just take the legs over to the right side. Left arm comes out to the left side. Right hand can come onto the top of the left knee just to guide the legs over a little further. And if you can, just keep those shoulders firmly against the floor, just to maximize the twist and the sensation of this twist. If it feels a bit much to have the legs twisted like I have, then just stack them on top of each other as we would in a kind of standard twist. Skye is warming my feet very nicely now. Well, one of my feet. And you should just feel that wonderful stretch all the way down the left side of the body. You can raise the legs back up to center, unravel that twist. Take the soles of the feet back to the floor and we'll repeat that twist on the second side. So this time we're taking the right leg and just twisting it round the left, just bringing the hips over slightly to the right and then take the knees over to the left. Right hand comes out to the side, shoulders remain fixed to the floor. Find a place now for my left foot to be warmed. And don't ever feel afraid to kind of move around and get the pose right. You know, you might find that the pose you originally land in doesn't feel quite right. So there's always space to just within those first kind of 30 seconds to a minute of a pose, just move around, just get things feeling right for you. This is all about us as individuals getting the most that we can out of a pose, and that will be different for each and every one of us, and it'll be different each time as well. You know, so many times where I've done the same sequence and thought, this feels completely different today. And we'll lift up from this second side, unravel the legs, and we'll come into our Shavasana. So I will try and get my legs out in front of me with the help of the dog. And just find a place where you can stretch out, relax the legs, relax the arms down beside you. We can melt completely into the floor now. And just hopefully be holding on to that feeling of relaxation and peace. So hopefully that practice has given you calm if you were coming into it with a bit of stress, or has prepared you for any stressful situations by just relaxing and calming the body down. So thanks again for joining me for this practice today. Well, joining Skye as well. Really hope it's given you what you were looking for from the practice today, and I hope to see you again on the mat sometime soon. Thank you.